Born in Tibet, brought up in India, and later immigrated to the United States, Sonam Zoksang is a self-taught photographer whose work has been widely exhibited. His passion for photography and aim of telling the story of his people through photographs, Sonam Zoksang has traveled extensively in Tibet. I'm thrilled to have this episode of In Conversation with Sonam Zoksang La. Sonam Zoksang La. When was the first time you touched a camera or looked at a photograph and said, I want to become a photographer?
That's really interesting question. I don't remember when I first touched the camera. I When I was young, I played with the click third camera in India. That was a very long time ago. But I had no idea that I would become a photographer. But I had a fascination with the camera and photography for a very long time.
Zoksang La, many of us have seen the pictures of His Holiness the Dalai Lama during his visits to the United States, and the photographs have the attributions made to someone called Sonam Zoksang. I'm sure you must have talked about this earlier to many other people. Tell us about the best part of taking photographs of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Which one is your favorite and why?
Well, I don't have one particular photo that's my favorite. I have many actually, but I consider myself very fortunate to have the opportunity to take photos of His Holiness many visits in North America and also in India and other places. There are moments that I can now. One particular moment I can tell you that when His Holiness met some prisoners in New York City, that was a very moving moment ago. And some of the information they provide to His Holiness at that time was just mind-boggling. And I thought that was such a learning experience for me and for His Holiness the Dalai Lama too. And then there are other moments too, but of course, meeting with the president and the senators. But His Holiness always enjoy meeting with the students and people with the especially with the like prisoners. I say educators, scientists, not necessarily politicians.
Right. Indeed. Zoksang La, how did you teach yourself photography? When do you know that the photographs you have taken are good enough to go public?
Well, when I came to the States, I had no idea, even though I wanted to learn about photography. So my only option at that time was just to go to the bookstores. I would spend many hours in the bookstores flipping through magazines and books. And that's how I taught myself. And those days, we're talking about pre-digital time when the photography was very expensive. And I would, shoot photos of the Tibetan communities. I would go to the park and take photos. And, that way, through trial and errors, I taught myself photography. The first time in 1995, I had a photo show in New York City, and the reaction of my photo show was very positive, and that gave me a confidence of my work. And after that, I started showing more of my work.
Right. Talking about confidence of work, self-taught photographers like Joshua Thaysin and Ann Geddes, their love for photography were discovered by the way of their philanthropic endeavors and experiences as a mother. What gave you meaning to keep going on as a photographer, and what attributed to your photographic success?
Well, it's my passion and love for photography. I, have watched some photographers like Galen Rowell and Art Wolf, whose photography is not only about photographs, also has a lot of principle in that. So, I was very moved by their principle and the beauty of their photographs. Personally, when I traveled to Tibet and after coming back from Tibet, I thought that there's something I can contribute to my country through, through photographs. So I started showing photos at different colleges and different gatherings, and that I felt very good about that.
Right, Zoksang. Could you share with us a memorable moment of yours during your visits to Tibet, not only as a Tibetan, but also as a photographer?
Well, I went to Tibet, like I was born in Tibet, as you mentioned before. The first time I went to Tibet was 93, Bari Tenzin Takla. So it was a really moving time because I always wanted to travel and see my country. But not only it was you know to see was really emotionally draining, but at the same time to see the beauty and see the strength of the people and that really gave me so much hope. And as a photographer, Tibet is really a dream destination for any photographers. Only the beauty of the landscapes and the landscape, but the people and I just couldn't stop taking photos. There's too many places to take photos. But then I went back subsequently to Tibet and tried to cover not only in particular one area, but all different three provinces. Yeah.
Zoksang, what would you say? That would be my last question. What would you say are the boons and banes of being a photographer, that too a renowned and a successful photographer?
I just simply enjoy taking photos. As I said before, for me, photography taught me so much about nature, about impermanence, and to me, the happiness that I derive from photography as I consider it as a big success for me as a photographer. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sonam Zoksang, for sharing with us your experiences and your journey as a successful and renowned Tibetan photographer. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Chimla. Thank you very much.
That was Sonam Zoksang, a renowned Tibetan photographer based in United States. Thank you for watching this episode of In Conversation with Tibet TV.